kind of pick your brain about from Philadelphia to Oakland and now to Baltimore. Where do you kind of feel that you've grown as a pitcher? I mean, where have you improved your game over those years?
Uh, Opportunity. I think it's where my game has grown, and that's just being honest. There was a little bit of a roadblock in Philadelphia, and the opportunity there was a little bit scarce. And then an opportunity when Mike Fiers went down in Oakland opened up for me to really kind of hold on to a role. And so my first year with Oakland, I had that opportunity and I ran with it. And that's just something that it just kind of happened. I work hard and I'm sure the rest of the league does. But I think there's something to say about, I know who I am. I've always known who I am. And that's a starting pitcher that eats innings and gets outs. And I may not be fancy. I may not be lighting up the radar gun a lot of the time. But what I do is I think through my pitch selection, where I want to be. And I know how to get hitters out. That's at the end of the day, that's all my job is to do, is to get those guys out.
Next question is from Jake Rill at MLB.com.
Hey, Cole, just how excited are you about joining an Orioles team with so many young players and it's coming off such a successful season last year?
Yeah, I'm excited. The first thing that came to mind when I got the call was when we faced Baltimore at the end of last season, how many plays Gunnar Henderson made in that series against us. I think that kid's jersey was dirty by the end of the first inning, just top to bottom. So I'm excited. It's a young group. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's so much talent. Just in the difference in 2 years from 21 to 22, it was a visible difference, and I'm excited. I'm excited to kind of get involved with the organization a little bit more, get to know the fans, get to know everyone. It's going to be an exciting season, and the defense, the offense, even the conversations with Hyde and Holt yesterday. There's a lot to be excited about coming over, and I'm just ready to get to work because spring training is super close, and I'm eager to get down to Sarasota.
Steve Molesky, MASNsports.com.
Oh, how much a part of your game is that pitch efficiency, that 14 plus pitches per inning? When you're having those successful outings, are those two aligned a lot?
Yeah, I like to work quick. I think there was a stat somewhere that was like I was like releasing pitches at like average of like 14.2 seconds. I don't know if that's real or not, but with the sped up game and all that, with all that being considered, my game's going to speed up a little bit more, and that just kind of plays well to how I like to pitch. I like to get the ball and go. And a lot of the times the hitters are stepping out when I'm ready. So this year is going to be fun because the pitch clock is going to actually probably favor my game a little bit more. And I'm going to be able to get outs in the way I know how. And honestly, it's going to be tough to slow down a little bit with that 15 and 19 second pitch clock. I think that, pitch efficiency is good, but at the end of the day, it's about throwing strikes and getting outs and getting your team in the dugout to score some runs. Cause every start you want to be quality, and that's my focus, is to put up a quality start every outing. And even if that's a 5 innings, no runs or 1 run, and we're still in the game to win it. I just think that there's a lot of things overlooked in today's game, and strikeouts and all that. I think at the end of the day, it's all about getting outs and doing your job, and that's what I got traded to do.
Jacob Meyer, the Baltimore Sun. All right, Stan Charles, press box.
Cole, welcome to Baltimore. when I look at your numbers last year, because I followed you pretty closely, up until late August, you were probably in the top 10 in starter ERA and that efficiency. What happened those 6 of the last 7 starts where you threw 32 in the third innings and gave up 30 runs, earned runs? It was so out of character for your season last year.
Yeah, I think it's a culmination of a couple things, and I kind of dove into that myself this off season. It wasn't a fitness issue, wasn't that I wasn't, but I think a lot of it had to do was getting ready too early. The past like 4 or 5 spring trainings, I've gotten up to like 3 innings pitched coming into spring training, facing live hitters, a little overworking it, and so this year I've kind of taken my approach and stayed in the weight room a little bit longer, and focused on a little bit more long toss and focused on a longevity of the season in preparation for October. Because at the end of the day, we all want to pitch in the playoffs. I want to pitch in the playoffs. And that's the most important thing to me is being healthy for the postseason. And August hasn't really been a healthy month for me. But I think there are some things to look at for myself. And that was one of the areas that I wanted to improve. And one of the things I did was kind of ease myself into spring training this year. When being with Oakland, I knew that I was going to be in the rotation, and now with Baltimore, having the opportunity to be in the rotation, but fight for a job with a little bit more innings under my belt. I kind of know who I am and know what I can do. But I think that's going to be a strength this year is being able to. Is going to be over the course of the season, maintain my stronger months. So I'm hopeful that everything kind of pushes out a little bit longer, and that my stronger part of my season is towards that August, September, October month.
Nathan Ruiz, Baltimore Sun.
Hey Cole, welcome to Baltimore. Your home road splits were pretty dramatic last year. What do you make of that? And along those lines, how excited are you about pitching at Camden Yards now that it's got its new dimensions?
Yeah, no, I'm excited about Camden. I've always pitched well there, or at least the one time that I've pitched there. I've pitched well, and that was with the shorter dimensions. So I'm excited. I love Camden Yards. It's one of my favorite ballparks to visit, and I'm excited to call it home. That's for sure. With the left field being pushed back a little bit, or a lot of bit. So there's some exciting things, and home road splits I don't even think about. Like I said, my job is to get outs. If splits bother people, they bother people, but for me, my job is to get outs and put us in position to win, and that's all that matters to me. I think at the end of the day, stats can get a little blown out of proportion, and we forget about what our job is to do. If we win a game and I gave up 4 and I went 7, or gave up 3 and 5, and we still, or whatever the number is, and we still win a ball game, we win a ball game, regardless of how it was done. So I'm a competitor. I want to win. That's all that matters to me. And stats are just a number. And like I said, I don't light up radar guns. I don't light up. I feel better this offseason. I'll say that. And I'm throwing the ball a lot harder than I was going into previous spring trainings. And that's probably due to kind of my tinkering with some weight program and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's about getting outs, and splits are going to be the splits, and it's going to be a nice pitcher's ballpark in Baltimore with that left field pushed back. And I know that I've had success there, and that's coming. I'm coming in with confidence, and I'm excited to pitch in the division. I've pitched well in Tampa, pitched well against Toronto. So, I got some things to learn from our coaching staff, from the players that, I've been in the division for a couple years. And I'm just glad that I don't have to face Ryan Mountcastle anymore. That guy's got my number since AA.
Rich Dubrov, BaltimoreBaseball.com.
Hey, Cole, you haven't actually pitched against the AL East much, and even though the schedule's having the Orioles face the AL East much less than they did in previous years. How much of a challenge is it for you going to be having to pitch at Fenway where you've never pitched before and multiple times against the Blue Jays and the Yankees, so the other tough AL East teams?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys I feel like, the younger ball clubs like Toronto, us in Baltimore, I feel like I faced all those guys since AA. So I feel like I do have kind of a little bit of a read on some guys, and then obviously lineups are mixed and stuff. So I do have some history with some guys, just knowing how to get them out and how I like to pitch them. But again, it's just another division that I got to learn how to pitch in. Pitching in the AL West wasn't easy either. With Houston, Seattle, Anaheim, they got some bats over there. Major leagues isn't easy to pitch in just general. So I think it just comes down to getting outs. I feel like there's times where I feel like I beat a dead horse with that, but that's all that matters. At the end of the day, is putting your team in position to win, and ultimately, the division is going to be loaded, and I'm excited to be in a tough division. But that puts us in a good position to be able to make the postseason. With how much the division is loaded and being able to kind of beat up on each other. That's just kind of how it's going to go, and that's what happened last year in this division. And there's just more added talent, and it's going to be a fight to the end. And that's what makes 162 games go by fast, is when you're fighting every single night. So it's going to be exciting. And and then being able to face all the other ball clubs. You're going to face every team in the league. That's going to help too. I don't know how much, but that's going to help just in terms of balancing out schedules and all that. I think that's going to be a really good thing for Baltimore Oriole fans.
Andy Casca, Banner.
Hey, Cole, real quick before my actual question, what's your velo up to now? You said you gained a little bit on that, or what are you looking at?
Well, let's just say that my bullpens typically, I sit in the 83, 84 range. I've gotten my bullpens up to 90, not without trying. And it's not that I'm purposely trying to throw hard, but to me, that's a noticeable uptick in velocity. And that's just with less effort and just focusing on some, like I said, weight training, long toss routines, just changing up a couple things in the off season and focusing on the longevity of a 162 game season. So velo is going to be there. I wouldn't be surprised in spring training that I'll see a 5 or 6. That just happens every year. But I like to pitch. I like to get, work the ball in and out, using my sinker, front door, cutter, whatever it may be, just whatever I can do to get guys out. That's what matters at the end. But I'm a little happy that velo is up a little bit. So that's something I'm never worried about, but it's something that I am conscious of.
Yeah. And then just, you talked about the opportunity places, kind of helped you get to where you are. What do you think about the opportunity in Baltimore? I mean, when you look around the roster, what do you think about that opportunity here? Like
I said, we're young. And there's so much good to have when you're young is this team. There's so much talent. If you look around the field, you got Adley, you got Gunner, and then you got the young guys coming up with DL Hall, John Means coming back from TJ. I think there's just so much Kyle Gibson there. I think there's so much good about this team, about this organization. Just to look forward to this season, coming off of a very successful season last year. It wasn't where the team wanted to end up, I'm sure. But there's a lot of potential to turn some more heads in our direction. And that's coming into spring. I think that's the goal, is to turn more heads and get some more attention on us, to be able to win more ball games. And I think we have the team and the lineup and the rotation to do it. There's a lot of talent, and I saw it at the end of last season with the pitching staff. It's it's going to be exciting. I'm excited to get down and meet everyone. I don't know anyone personally, but I know from a competitive aspect, I know some of the guys. So it's going to be an exciting year. I'm eager to just get started and get down there.
Steve Molesky, MASN.
Cole, you mentioned talking to Chris Holt. You know, on the O's watch last year, some pitchers who came from other organizations made dramatic improvements on stats. The team did too as a staff. I mean, how much are you looking forward to working with them? And are the Orioles getting a reputation for helping pitchers, or is it too soon for that?
No, we've already started the process. We had about a 45-minute phone call last night. Just talking pitching, just getting to know each other. But we did start talking pitching about 15 minutes in, and that lasted the rest of the phone call. And I really enjoyed that conversation. There's a lot of good things to look forward to. And conversations that I was having towards the end of last season in Oakland, the conversations are being amplified, and the second I got traded yesterday. So there's going to be probably a little bit of tinkering in spring training, if not a little bit sooner, while I'm here in North Carolina training. So it's good. Those conversations have already started. You come over to an organization, kind of sometimes you don't know what to expect, and it's nice to be wanted. And ultimately, that comes to the bottom line. There is, I feel like I'm wanted. I was wanted, and feel like this organization, saw value in what I can do and know how to bring it up. So I got to be open to some changes or some different things, and I'm going to be all ears and understanding, knowing what I can do, understanding how to do the ins and outs of a 162 game season, 32 plus starts. I think going into this season, being a little bit more open-minded on maybe some stuff on my slider and curveball that haven't been necessarily impactful pitches in my repertoire. I think there's some things there that we're already kind of brainstorming and working on. And I'm, like I said, I'm excited. We're hitting the ground running already, and it's going to be it's hard to just not smile and not be eager to get down to spring training with all the conversations I had in the last, I think 12 hours. It's going to be a very fun season, and I'm glad to be wanted.